Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Love Spell, and we are going to get our first ending of Enix's route in this part. Technically our first ending ever for you. Almost the second to last one for me. But yeah, so we're probably going to go down and do the bad ending, unless his choice is so unobvious and I screw it up. I will say that in the other routes, because I've done them all, the choice is pretty obvious what leads to the good ending and what leads to the bad ending. Okay, which is helpful. I appreciate that, because sometimes, there are games where you're like, this is like a good answer, and it's like, it's always you're like, it's the wrong one for this person. I like that this is pretty straightforward with the do the right thing or go run and hide in a corner. So I'm sure it'll be pretty obvious which is the bad ending. We're going to get that one. It's probably going to be like, don't tell him how you feel. Tell him how you feel, And yeah, so we'll get our first ending. And then we'll do the good ending and the epilogue in the next part. So anyway, episode 11, A New Dream. I swing open the door to Isla's hospital room, breathless and panting as droplets of sweat drip down my face. Isla looks over at me and then slowly down at her bed sheets. Isla, where is he?
Finally made your decision, have you? Huh, took you long enough, you dolt.
I quickly plopped down on her bedside before grabbing her uninjured hand, her neck, shaking her violently. Isla, I love him with everything I am, and I'm sorry, but I can't give him up again. I can make him happy. I will make him happy.
I know you can. You're probably the only one who can at this point.
Please tell me where he is. He isn't at home. He isn't answering his phone. I need to see him right now, Isla. There's so much I need to say to him.
I couldn't stop him, Spacey. He said he was leaving town tonight and not ever coming back. Our university doesn't open again for another few months, so I have no clue where he could possibly be headed. He wouldn't tell me no matter how many times I asked.
What? No. Well, when did he say this?
It was hours ago now. He might still be at the harbor, but at this rate, you probably won't make it in time.
At least I'll try. As I turn on my heels to head out of the hospital, Isla calls out to me.
Spacey, wait,
I ain't got time for this, bitch.
I'm sorry.
For everything. You fucking should be. Get some help.
I realize now just how wrong I've been this entire time. Manipulating and lying a man into falling in love with me, and keeping him away from the person he really loves, and dragging him down, and being an emotionless and manipulative bitch.
I'm just saying.
No matter how much you love someone, no matter how much they mean to you, you can't force yourself to be in someone's heart if you truly don't belong there in the first place. I understand that now.
Still don't feel sorry for you. You still need therapy.
I'm sorry. If it wasn't for me, you and Enix could have...
To think you always made fun of me for being the crybaby. Look at you now.
You idiot! I'm being serious here!
I know you are, Isla, but I want you to know that if none of this had happened, neither you, Enix, nor I could have grown from it. Yes, it caused a lot of pain and grief, but people grow from those experiences, Isla. You will too. And if it wasn't due to all of this, I would have never had the courage to face my feelings and face Enix again.
You've really changed a lot, haven't you?
I think so too. And although I'm not perfect and still full of mistakes, I think I like the person I'm becoming a lot more. I suppose part of that reason is thanks to you as well. You're giving her too much credit. Thank you, Isla.
Shut up and just get going, you big dolt. You don't have time to waste here if you're gonna stop him.
You're right. Goodbye, Isla. Like forever, because we don't ever want to be friends with you again. As I turn to head out the door once again, Isla calls after me once more. Girl, I ain't got time for this!
And please, bring him the happiness that I couldn't.
Duh. I will. I promise. With that, I close the hospital room door and head off. Isla slowly looks down at the window as she lets out a deep sigh. A few moments later, the door opens again and she quickly wipes her tears before whipping her head around.
You absolute idiot! How could you actually forget something after such an emotional moment? Are you stupid? Oh.
Isla immediately shuts up as she spots a stranger at her door. The young man smiles sheepishly as he bows his head. Uh-huh. Why is Aslan the wizard? Secret route that we don't have but maybe could get in DLC later. Hen! Need it! I want it! You know what's interesting though? When the witch was like, oh, I left it. I hope it wasn't him because that's going to be weird if he's a secret route later. But also, he's got the same pink hair and green eyes that the witch does. We should have known he was a wizard right off the bat. But he is. Spoiler alert. It's not really a spoiler. If you followed the Kickstarter, you know he's Aslan the wizard. But anyway. We gave him the Lupin treatment, didn't we? Okay, hold on. I got to get the Lupin voice back. Okay. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. It seems I got the wrong room. Don't you fall in love with her. She's not taking one of our other boyfriends.
Oh, I'm sorry too. I didn't mean to call a stranger an idiot.
Haha, it's perfectly all right. I'll be taking my leave now. Have a good evening, miss. As the young man motions to close the door, he slowly turns to look at Isla one more time. Interesting. Unless... Would you, by any chance, like someone to talk to? Is he gonna pull some fucking magic out of his pants? I mean... if we get its route, I bet he will. For us, you know what I'm saying? Ha! Not being subtle. I run as fast as my legs can take me towards the town's harbor. As I near the ocean, I smell the breeze of the sea and watch lights from all sorts of ships docked out. I see one particular ship that catches my attention for its immense size and foreign lettering. A voice suddenly booms from an overhead speaker. The SS Anne is now departing. Please stay clear of the rails and hold small children by the hand. Wait, no! As I attempt to run towards the boat's docking station, a security guard stops me. But it's for love! Oh, then go ahead, ma'am. Do you have your 80s song with you? Please listen, I have to get on that ship. Sorry, miss. That ship's already set sail. You'll have to wait for the next one. My heart sinks as I can only watch as the gleaming ship slowly sails farther and farther away on moonlit waves. I shake my head before running off towards the harbor's main office. Just as an employee locks the office doors, I run up to him, startling the short man. When does that boat come back? I'm sorry, ma'am, but that ship only sets in and out of port from here once a year. What? No, that can't be. I need to get on that ship right now. I'm very sorry, but once a ship of that size leaves, well, there's not much we can do. It's already headed out for the next continent over. The man wears a sympathetic expression as he finishes locking up the office doors. I stare hopelessly as he leaves, and the lights of the harbor begin to flicker and blink off, one by one. Eventually, the only light that shines is that of the moon as I watch the gleaming lights of the ship shrink into the ocean's nightscape. Like, this is the scene in the movie where you're sitting there sad on the dock for hours and then he finds you. I've been looking for you, you asshole. What? You didn't get on the ship? I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the cliche in my heart. You know what I mean? Like, as I walk towards a nearby dock, I can no longer hold back my tears. I clutch Enix's notebook closely to my chest as I let everything out in heaving sobs. Suddenly, I feel a gentle hand on my shoulder. My heart jumps as I quickly turn around, only to see the worried face of an elderly security guard. I'm terribly sorry, miss, but the harbor's closed now until morning. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the premises. As he notices tears falling from my eyes and the notebook I clutch on my chest, his expression softens. I'm really sorry, but could I just have a few minutes alone? I really need it. The man scratches his head as he stares at my heartbroken expression. He stands up and looks around before he whispers to me in a hush. I can tell you must be going through something rough, so I'll let you have a few more minutes. But after that, I'm afraid you'll have to come back. I'll have to come back and see you out. Thank you, sir. Take it easy, kiddo.
No reason a nice young lady like yourself needs to look that sad. I'm sure everything will work out.
No, I'm gonna turn into the old witch, trying to help people fall in love. You know, that's not a bad life. I'm just saying, we get to carry around a fucking magic Mary Poppins bag and have a magic pen with a talking penguin in it. I'll be the crazy old witch lady. I'm already close to being crazy and old. I just don't have magical witch powers. It's the only thing I'm lacking to be a crazy magical witch lady. Just saying. I can't help but crack a small, wistful smile at the old man's attempt at sympathy as I watch him leave. I turn back to face the ocean and feel a sense of desolation hit me when I can no longer even make out the lights of the ship. The strength in my legs leaves me as I slowly drop to the floor and close my eyes, the tears pouring out, seemingly without end. This hurts, man. I'm waiting for that happy end. Well, we're not going to get the happy ending in this part, but... This is it. All seems hopeless and lost. Suddenly I hear a voice from inside me call out. Oh, this is interesting.
It might very well be the end, but there's still one last choice for you to make. What will you do, child? In the depths of your darkest night, when everything you've wanted has escaped your grasp, will you choose to keep chasing after your dreams, even to the ends of the earth? Or will you give up, accepting a future without them in your life? The choice is yours, and you must make it now.
Warning, the choice you make here will significantly impact the rest of the story.
This is your story. Your fate is in your hands. Choose wisely.
No, we're going to choose badly.
Now tell me, what will you do?
Go after Enix is obviously the right choice. Stay in place and accept fate is the bad ending. We're going to do the bad ending first. Okay? Because, like I said, you'll see when we get to the end of the bad ending, it kind of like loops you back so that you can go a couple scenes, like a little bit before this, like maybe when the security guard's talking to you, blah, 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 somewhere. I don't know. I haven't done it, but like somewhere around there, you get a couple of minutes before the choice, and then you can choose it again. We're probably not going to do that. We're just going to end after the bad ending. You know what I mean? Instead of loop back, because since I can't like save here, you know, and I don't want to do. In plenty of other ones, I've wanted to do the whole thing where we get our bad ending, loop back at the good ending, and then we do the epilogue in the separate part. But it's probably. I know the other ones. Chapter 11 is a little bit longer before the choice. So you really only have time, especially after the ending and everything. Like, this one's really short right now, but even after the choice, we don't really have enough time to then do the good ending and the epilogue and do everything in one. It'd be a very, very long part, and for most of the other ones, it'd probably be almost an hour and a half. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to do this one the same way we were doing most of the other ones. So we're going to do our bad ending. Jesus. I clicked that like 14 times. She was like, no, that's not the right.
I see. I tried to stop you, but you kept clicking. What a shame.
It even tells you, like, duh. I mean, you had to know it's the bad choice, but it's still funny. It's like, bad. I shake my head and blink back the tears that have begun forming once again. I grip our notebook close to my chest for a fleeting moment before I turn my back and walk away. I tried, Philia. I tried my best. I really did. But it just wasn't good enough. I hold my breath, almost expecting the sassy pink penguin to appear again in a flash of sparkles and scold me for being such a reckless master. But the only reply I receive is a cold flutter of the sea wind. I look back up to the spot where Enix's ship disappeared one last time. I can't help but wonder what would have happened if I had made it in time. What would have happened if Enix had stayed behind and waited for me? Would we have laughed? Or cried? Would we have embraced each other and never let go? It doesn't matter anymore. It's too late. Enix is gone and there was nothing I could do. I hate the bad endings because they do kind of rip your heart out. Actually, one of them is actually my favorite bad ending, I think, in a game ever. I was like, that's a good bad ending. It's Florian's. Florian's bad ending is like my favorite. Because it's like, it's still sad, but you're like, but it's kind of epic. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, It'll be the last one we do, but it's good. 8 years later. Aw. My heart sinks as I gaze at the figures on the laptop screen in front of me. After that fateful day Enix left, I vowed to myself that I wouldn't let our notebook go to waste, and that I'd make this dream come true, even if it was only mine alone now. So with this resolve, I managed to graduate and proceed to work various odd jobs for years, eventually saving up enough to open and establish my own video game studio. It all sounds very glamorous, especially with the recent release of my first game, but unfortunately, glitz, glam, and fame were far from my current reality. What do you mean the story was completely unrealistic? It's a fantasy genre! Of course it's unrealistic! I pinch my temple as I continue scrolling down a long list of recent player reviews. Unintuitive level design, puzzles were too easy, MC sucks. Okay, now that's just low! There are a few positive comments posted here and there, but the vast majority is spotted criticisms, some more constructive than others. I groan as I run a hand down my face and quickly close the browser. Literally, let's just recap my constructive criticism of this game. There's some typos. That's it. And I'm going to be honest. I know I said earlier in the first couple parts of this, there, in some routes it's a little more than others. Okay. Small indie developer. Okay. It's going to happen. Typos happen and everything. After playing Color X Malice Unlimited, huge fucking game, huge developer, huge fucking localization company. The amount of goddamn fucking typos in that shit is disgusting. It's horrible. I love the game, don't get me wrong. And if they're going to localize more games, I said it in that, alright, I'll deal with the typos, but they're bad. So any complaints that I had about and again, it's just hey, there's a lot of typos. That's the only negative I can actually come up with. Aside from every once in a while, the game makes me think it's going some way, and I'm like, I'm not going to trust you, Enix. Don't you dare do that. Okay, he didn't. Okay, I was just prepared for the worst, okay? I was just prepared for the worst. Or that moment where I was like, if you treat me like I'm too stupid to exist, I'm throwing the whole man out. But he didn't. I'm just prepared for the worst, okay? I don't trust easily, all right? But that's, like I said, it happens in everything. Big level games. Small studio. First game. Typos. Alright. Happens in everything. Huge fucking game. Huge, probably, localization budget. Okay? Probably the budget for that was probably bigger than this budget for this whole game. And you have more typos in one route of that than this whole game has in its entire self. Okay, I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna take that, the little minor, that's my only criticism. Throw that out. Just pretend it never happened. Because this is nothing compared to that. And that's amazing. So. But it happens in everything. But if that's the only, complaint I can possibly have, even the bad characters, you're I hate them, but they're so good, that's why you hate them. I hate Isla, I'm probably supposed to feel for her, but I don't, because I'm a heartless person. It's nothing to do with the game, it's me, I'm a heartless person. But they make her so that you don't like her to give you angst, and I appreciate that. It's kind of like Dolores Umbridge in Harry Potter, You're that's good writing if you can loathe the character so much you want to jump into the book and, punch her in the face. As opposed to, yeah, this character sucks. When you actually are oh, you hurt me with your evilness, or I'm so angry at you. That's good shit. It's good shit, so. And I like our MC. She's pretty fucking sassy. Okay, she fell for Isla's bullshit, but Isla's a queen manipulator, and we had to throw the angst in there. So I'm disappointed in her for it a little bit, but I know it had to be done. Okay, I know. But my instinct is don't you fall for this, but we're gonna fall for it, and it's just... I know it had to be done, but it doesn't mean I have to, not be angsty about it. It's the whole point. I'm supposed to be angsty about it, alright? I really do love this game, though. The Witch and Philly are probably the best. They're my favorites. They're my favorites to read, even though the voices probably suck. They're the most fun to do. Anyway, it's fine. I just have to keep believing. The next game will be better. If there's even a next game at this point. There better be, because I really enjoy this one, so I'm just saying. I lean back in my office chair and tear my hand through my hair. I eye the empty coffee mug sitting at the corner of my desk and grab it as I stand up and walk out of the room. On my way to the small office kitchen, I notice a few letters slid under the door. When I spot the bold red lettering stamped on the top envelope, I groan out loud again. Bills? Cease and desist? Oh, shoot, my rent's overdue! But I just finally paid off my credit card bill yesterday! Great. Another week of eating instant ramen, I guess. I pick up the stack and flip through the rest of my mail absent-mindedly until I come across something that instantly makes my blood run cold. I stare unflinchingly at the card in one hand as my mug falls from the other, shattering into pieces against the floor. It was my only mug, too. You're cordially invited to the wedding of Enix Gray and Isla Fawn. Why would I go to their wedding, Enix? And why did you stay with her? Okay. Alright, I know it's the bad ending, but I'm just gonna stop right now. Enix, you dumb fucking asshole. She was lying, manipulating you, all of that shit. She even admitted it. Oh my god, Aslan did this, didn't he? I had to blame this motherfucker. Because, Enix, you know she was lying, manipulating you, and all that shit, and you still stayed with her? What is wrong with you, you dumb fuck? Disappointment level immaculate. However, I'm just gonna go with, wait. No. Aslan, that's your fault. Bad romance option. Bad. You naughty wizard. Bad bartender and wizard. I'm gonna blame him for it and be like, he went to her and was like, so, like, what do you want? And she was like, I just want him to love me. And he's like, this is all you're doing, you sneaky little bastard. I hate you now. It's a bad ending. My fingers tremble as I stare and stare, but the words refuse to sink in. I wouldn't go. Enix and Isla? They're still together, huh? It's been years, so I suppose it's only natural. No! He should be fucking smarter than this. Again, it's a spell, I know it. A whirlwind of 1,000,001 emotions rush through my mind as my whole body is paralyzed on the spot. I get she wouldn't know that, but shouldn't she be in her head being like, wow, kind of glad I let him go if he's that fucking stupid after all the manipulation she did, that he's still with her? Honey, you could do so much better. He's an idiot. After a few minutes, a sudden wave of calm washes over me. Again, I know it's the wizard. She doesn't. She should be like, psh, dodge that bullet, you know? At least tell yourself that, so you feel better, you know? Gotta lie to yourself sometimes. Without a word, I walk back to the counter, pick up a pen, and check off a box in the corner. I wouldn't even respond. I'd be that asshole. No. Oh my god, you agreed to go? Why? Why would you do this to yourself? She is a masochist. I fidget nervously with the small present box in my hand as I gaze wide-eyed around the beautiful chapel. This is just to drive home the angst. Considering how well-off both Isla and Enix's families are, it's no surprise their wedding turned out to be such a luxurious and lavish affair. Every square foot of the venue I see is decorated intricately and beautifully with countless flowers, garlands, and sparkling centerpieces. I hate this ending, it hurts me. There's still plenty of time before the ceremony is set to start, but hundreds of guests have already arrived, with a seemingly endless line still slowly making their way inside. Are we wearing our fancy dress? We better be. I place my gift down and I can't help but retreat to the back of the room, feeling completely out of place amongst the sea of high-profile guests dressed in designer gowns and suits. As far as my eyes can see, I begin to recognize famous and renowned doctors, politicians, lawyers, and even executives mingling with one another. I stand awkwardly by myself for a few more minutes before I leave to find a restroom to freshen up. I take a deep breath as I exit the bathroom, spending longer than I had anticipated in there. Why would you go? I don't understand. It's like again, I get it for the ending. It's like we need to feel this pain. But like in reality, you would never do this. You'd be like, nope, out. No longer friends. Not talking to either one of you. The reality of the situation had begun crashing down on me, and it took some time and a few mental pep talks to get my wits back together. I hate this. It hurts. Looking back at the end of the hall towards the crowded reception area again, I feel my stomach tighten. So instead, I chose to turn around and walk towards a seemingly empty open balcony outside. Yep. I like it. She shows up in this in every route, like for some reason or another, and I just love it. It's so pretty. Perhaps some fresh air will do me good. As I walk along the hall of the empty balcony, I relish in the complete silence around me. For the first time since I arrived, I feel I can finally breathe with no one around, when suddenly I catch the sight of a lone back leaning against a pillar, watching the horizon. I stop dead in my tracks at the figure in front of me. Although it's been years, I'd recognize the sight of that back anywhere. Don't say it. Don't talk to him. Enix. I feel my heart rate accelerate dangerously. Feelings that I thought he had long since disappeared bubbled to the surface, almost all at once again, and I'm resigned to admit that maybe they'll never truly go away. I'm gonna blame Aslan the wizard for this. I'm doing it. Feels as if a hand has wrapped itself around my throat as tears begin to well up in my eyes at only the sight of his back. I quickly turn around and attempt to make my escape before I'm noticed, but the sound of my heels gives me away as the figure turns around. Oh, he looks so beautiful. Look at his suit. It's amazing. I love it. I love the white tux and the black shirt. Oh, I love it. It's sexy as fuck. Spacey, is that you? I swallow the lump in my throat and force the best smile I can possibly muster. Enix's eyes visibly widen as he watches me turn around, and his jaw drops ever so slightly. Mine is clearly dropped looking at him in this goddamn suit. I love it. Congratulations, lovebird. Maybe it was the look in my eyes or obvious tremble in my tone, but anything Enix was about to say crumbles away at my greeting. His features soften while a wistful, almost melancholic glow settles in his eyes. Thanks. The air is uncomfortably thick around us as we both call out at the same time. Enix, Spacey, But the loud chime of the church bell rings out, cutting us off abruptly. We both glance at each other. The ceremony is starting. Spacey. I look away. You should go. They're all waiting for you. Yeah, but it means a lot to me that you came. Just know, I'm glad I got to see you. This hurts so bad. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Because it's the bad ending. You're like, I'm waiting for him to be like, I love you, and then we run off together, but that's not going to happen. Like, he's going to marry this bitch, and we're going to die alone with all of our cats. We didn't even shake our penguin pen to get our penguin back. She's just sitting in there like, hello. I'm sitting in a pew behind the front row. The ceremony's already begun. I just sat in the back, bitch. My fists are all balled up tightly in my lap as I watch the couple at the altar exchange their vows, followed by their rings. I never would have gone. This is terrifying. And now, if there's anyone who does not believe the couple before us should be joined in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace. My attention snaps up at those words. A hush falls over the room as the priest gives us pause. My eyes instinctively flicker up, only to find Enix looking in my direction as well. Man, even with the magic... Okay, look, I can't believe that he would marry Isla or stay with her or all this after all the shit she's done. Unless that conversation she had with Aslan the wizard bartender, kind of put some kind of a spell on him. Okay? But him and I making eye contact in this moment tells me that it's not a spell, but yet I can't believe you'd be this stupid. So I have to pretend it's a spell. Because how are you this stupid? I know it's the bad ending, but it should have just been we never see each other again, or he's getting married to some other girl. Not Isla. I know it hurts more that it's Isla, but it also makes me doubt his intelligence. After everything she's done, how he would stay with her after all of that. You know what I mean? Like, sweetie, I think you both need therapy. Okay. It hurts me, but it also makes me want to go, we dodged a bullet because he's clearly mental. Time seems to stop in that moment as we stare straight into each other's eyes, not even daring to breathe. A flurry of emotions wash over me as I dig my nails deeper into my palms and bite my lip. Every nerve in my body seems to surge as wild thoughts fly through my mind. Every fiber of my being screams for me to stand up and yell across the room. However, there's one looming thought that shackles me in my place. Enix's future. Isla was right. Now, because of her, Enix has everything he could possibly want. An education, a stable career, and a bright future ahead of him. But he's miserable. But as for me, well, what could I possibly offer him except a world of struggle and uncertainty? My chest aches with the feelings of my own heart breaking for the last time as I find the courage to tear my eyes away. And in that moment, time continues to flow normally once again.
No one? Then with the powers vested in me, I pronounce you two husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride.
I can't bring myself to lift my head when cheers erupt all around me as Enix and Isla officially seal their marriage. I realize once and for all that it's too late. Everything is over. This is why we do the bad ending first in this, because you're like, no, it's not. Fuck this bit. Star-crossed lovers. I have to think it had to have been a spell, even though he made eye contact with us. Because I can't believe he would consciously make the decision to stay with someone who destroyed his life, was lied to him and manipulated him, and she told him, I lied to you, she loved you, and blah, 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 and you've never loved me, and I get her being crazy and staying with him even though she realizes that he will never love her. You know what I mean? Okay, I'll take it, but you know what I mean? I get her crazy. I don't get his crazy unless it's a spell. So I have to go with that. But I'm still wondering. A familiar voice comes to you from within the darkness.
It seems you've met a terrible fate.
I know, this one hurt.
Poor child. I can feel the anguish and strong regret in your heart even now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Would you like to turn back the hands of time?
If you say yes, it brings you back to the earlier point. And if you say no, it's okay, and then it ends. I'll show you what happens if you do yes.
Very well. Then I shall turn back the hands of time.
We won't do this for everyone just because we're not going to finish. We're not going to get the good ending. Okay, so this is so you get to here, and then you get back to your choice. But the only thing is I don't think we can get the good ending and the epilogue in one part. I know it's only 30 minutes, but my concern is with the other ones, if the route and then the epilogue ends up being too long. You know what I mean? All right, let's try it. Let's try it, because the worst thing that's going to happen is this part might be a little bit longer than the others. Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to skip. So maybe we'll only get one ending for each person. And if the part's really long, the part's really long. It's not going to be longer than, say, an hour. I wouldn't say. Hopefully not an hour and a half, but... Or I'll just have to edit them separately and be like, ha ha ha, screw you. I don't know. Anyway, so here we go. I'm skipping through the dock, and then the little guy's going to come. If I do auto, the problem is it'll skip to that, and then it'll keep auto-skipping, so... I would prefer a skip red text option. That's a huge thing that I look for. That's important to me in games, you know?
Awesome loss, you heard a voice. Oh, you gonna make a choice? Ha ha ha.
Okay.
Choose wisely. What will you do?
Go after Enix.
I see. Well done, child.
A quiet yet resolute fire ignites within my heart as I open my eyes and glance up at the moon. No, this isn't the end. I won't give up here. Not now. I'll chase him to the moon and back if that's what it takes. That's what he means to me. Enix, you are my dream. I don't want a future that doesn't have you in it. Never again. No matter what, I'm going to find you and set this all straight. And this time, I'll tell you the truth. Tell you just how much you really do mean to me. If not by boat, then by plane. I'll have to go back and ask Isla if she has any ideas where you could possibly left to. Maybe together we can figure something out. I hear footsteps on the dock again as I stand up. I look out over the sea one last time before I take a deep breath.
I'm leaving now, sir. Thank you for letting me...
And just where you plan on going. Assuming it's Enix. This is the cliche moment I was hoping would happen, and it is! Okay, look. I'm not making fun of it. I love it. You know what I said the first? I'm like, I'm just hoping that moment where you're sitting there crying, and then he's there. Because you wouldn't think about it if it hadn't happened in a million movies or things, but this is why we love it, because you're like, where do you think you're going? Oh God, you are here! You didn't know how much you needed that in your life until it happened. I feel so good. Anyway, my eyes widen as I turn around and see the face of the man I've been searching for this whole time. Kind of weird how we were like, nah, I'll give it up to fate. We turn around and he's not there. It's weird. I can only stare at him for a few moments, trying to see if it's just a hallucination at this point, caused by all the stress and emotions. As if understanding what I'm doing, Enix takes a few steps closer. His azure eyes shine with moonlight in them. I look behind him and notice there's luggage on the floor not too far from the dock. Harbor's closed, you know. And we should probably get out of here before we get arrested for trespassing or something. Enix, what are you doing here? I thought that... Leaving was originally my plan. But then, the strangest thing happened. Right as I was about to get on the ship, an odd-looking harbor employee handed me a penguin-shaped pizza. Said the person who sent it was on their way. I stayed behind because... well, I wanted to hear what you had to say. He looks at my tear-stained face before one of his fingers slowly wipes away a tear. So I'm wondering if... our choice really isn't our choice. It's Isla's choice, if you think about it. That'd be kind of, like, weird. Because, like, we choose, like, no, I'll let him go. I'm not going to follow him, right? And Isla's talking to Aslan being like, I want him for me. And then that's how they end up together and married. Or if she actually, like, is truth and is like, no, they should be together because it was wrong. Like, actually everything she told us was the truth, and she actually realized and was strong enough to go, they should be together. And that's where the penguin pizza came in. You know what I mean? If her choice is really what actually just determined our ending. So the illusion of choice is really an illusion in this one, if that's the case. But I kind of like that. It's like, oh, you sneaky game. You sneaky bastard. It wasn't my choice at all. Like, intriguing, you know? But I think I might already know. At this, I wrap my arms around him in the tightest embrace of my life. I lied to you! I was manipulated by Isla! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All those things I said were lies. I was scared, Enix, and Isla manipulated me. I was scared of not being good enough for you, of not being able to make you truly happy, or giving you a future in which you were. I thought that I didn't deserve you, but I realized I'd never even tried to fight for you. I'm so sorry. And that makes two of us, Spacey. I guess we're both just a pair of scared kids with a lot of growing up to do, huh? A day in the field, I knew I should have gone to you. I should have told you everything, but in the end, I heard one thing I didn't want to, and it stopped me right in my tracks. It's easily the biggest regret of my life. I don't have to regret anymore, though. Me too. I thought I could make it without you again. I thought that if I went through it once, well, I could do it again, but I don't want to. Not now. Not ever. This gives me all the emotions. I can't breathe. Enix kisses my forehead as he holds me close. He whispers in my ears, emotion evident in his voice. I need you, Spacey. I'm sorry it took me so damn long to realize that. These past few years without you were like living without the sun. I tried so hard to forget you, but it was pointless. Every day I wanted to call you. I wanted to hear your voice, to see your face, but I didn't think I had the right to anymore. Honestly, I still don't know if I do. Of course you do, you dummy. I love you, Enix. More than anything in this world. I want to be with you, and I want to have a future with you. One that we can make together. No more lies, no more hiding. Just us and... I back away from him as I lift up the notebook. He widens his eyes before a small smile escapes him as he notices what I'm holding. And our dreams. Spacey, thank you. kissy CG and it's beautiful!
Enix smiles as he grabs the notebook and pulls me into his arms again. I push away slightly to look up at him. He looks down at me with warmth and tenderness. A small smile lights his face as his gaze drops down to my lips. We lean into each other as we close our eyes.
Run, we're getting arrested! Alright, lovebirds, come on. I need to go home. I got a late night show to catch. Get out of here.
It's probably the old guy, actually.
Enix and I look at each other and we can't help but burst out laughing.
Let's go home.
Yeah. He takes my hand in his as we run off the dock together. I feel a breeze pass me by and I glance back at the ocean. The ship's completely gone from the horizon, but in its place a bright moon shines and illuminates the entire sea. I smile at the moon and look forward to stare at Enix's running back. As we run through the night together, I can only grin as I watch Enix laugh. Memories of us as children and teenagers in this exact same scenario flood my mind. I can't help but glance down and smile as I see his hand tightly holding mine. Neither of us ever let go again.
It's beautiful! Okay, this game gives... I don't know if it's just me or this game gives me all the feels to the point where it's like, I could cry to happiness. Like, it gets me a little like, a little verklempt. I can't breathe sometimes. I hate it, because you know how hard... I mean, I love it, but I hate it, because how hard I'm like, look, I've cried once during a game. I get to that point where I'm like, I'm almost in tears. Like, I get a little misty where you're like, I could cry. I usually say it, I could cry. And it's like, I feel the emotion, but it's like, there's like the, I feel it, like, oh, I could cry. And then you get the, I actually am like, my eyes are a little watery. And then there's that ugly crying, sobbing one moment I've had. I will only let that happen that once. It's a special moment. It still gets me. But this gets me in that, like, I can actually cry. I'm getting a little teary like this, but it's happy. And it's like, oh my God. Stupid game making me happy. I dry my hair with the towel as I step out of my bathroom. I glance up at my room to see snacks, junk food, and pizza sprawled out everywhere. I laugh as I watch Enix press down rapidly on a controller, crying out at a game on the screen. Suddenly, a game over screen appears as he laughs. He turns around and beams at me, a breathtaking smile. Suddenly, he extends another controller in his hand towards me.
Come on, Miss Player 2. Can't do this without you.
I toss my towel aside and grab the controller from his hand. I sit down next to him and we smile at the start screen and then each other. So adorable. We both press down on a button and a 5-second timer appears on the screen. I quickly lean over and steal a kiss before the timer runs out. He shakes his head and laughs.
Ready, set, game on!
How adorable. Oh, we can watch the little end credits, because you've never seen the end credits. These are the little end credits. Aren't they cute? I actually wonder if they change, because, like, you can skip them. But, like, you see us, and then the witch, and then Enix, and then our other love interest. But I wonder if they're all in the same order every time. I would think so, because it'd just be silly to make different end credits for everything, you know? Oh, and that's true. You don't get to see. I'm in these. When we get to the Kickstarter backers, I'm there! It'll be like, where's Waldo? But find Spacey. You didn't see that the first time I did it, so. But this is really cute. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I really do. Oh, my thing's a little off. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, I thought my recording thing was a little off. I'll move this down. We'll put it here so it's on everyone's head. Here's Aslan. Ah, and look, they even made little 8-bit chibi things of them. It's cute. I love it. Yeah, no, I mean, I just... Look, you know, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to Otome games. Like, I love them, but... This was really good, and we've only done one route. I've now officially finished the entire game. I have done everything, but the game doesn't know that, because, you know, but it's actually good, because I know that there's something I think that opens up once you finish all the routes, but I don't know what that is, because that's a surprise to me, but we got to go through 3 other routes before this. We also have to do the epilogue, so what I'm hoping is the first time I did this, I did end up doing 2 parts for each ending. We're going to try to do 1. Here we go. Ready? Find me. Find me. Find me. Where am I? There I am. There I am. There I am. Woo! But yeah, so I know. I really did enjoy this. So it's funny because you're getting my like first thoughts, but it's really my end thoughts of my whole entire game. I actually really like them all. Florian is still my favorite because he has the special place in my heart. He was the one I loved first. I did really enjoy Enix's route though, and I kind of see that like you kind of get the feeling he's like the canon route, especially with the "he's your soulmate," but which is fine. Sometimes the canon routes in games where they're like he's really supposed to be the canon route, even though you can play any route you want. A lot of times they're, for me, like, oh, okay, sure. You've unlocked the secret ending for Enix. Which is his, like, story's not over yet. Time to level up. I love the glitter. New game, start epilogue. We'll get into a second. But you know what I mean? Sometimes the canon routes, I'm like, yeah, they're not my favorite characters. Every once in a while, I really do. And I do love Enix, so I'm totally okay. It's not like, oh, well, he's not my favorite. Honestly, Florian was my number 1. Enix was my number 2. Like, just looking at them in the character, like, list when we went through, I was like, yes! And I do actually really like all of the routes. I will be honest, there is one that is, like, not exactly, it's probably my least favorite out of all of them. But I still like it. But we'll get into when we get there of, like, why I'm like, this is why I kind of feel bad where it loses a little, for me personally, because there's a side character that I love more than our main character. That makes me sad. Like, I feel bad, but that's just the way it worked for me. You know, it's not to say that there's anything wrong with the route, because it is actually really good and it is fun, and I like it. And they're all a little bit different enough in the sense of, yeah, Enix is the, like, childhood best friend. But I don't really know a lot of other games where you're like, oh, we're developing a game, and that's cool. And then you have each one, like, her personality is a little bit different depending on the love interest. You know, like, she likes different things, and that's how they bond. But it's actually kind of cool, because I feel like it's not like, there is an overarching theme of the game. We write in a magic book, and they fall in love with us. Okay, but each love interest is different enough, and we're different enough that we fit with them, that it makes it believable. And each one is almost siloed in a way. Like, we're doing the whole game thing with Enix. That's not how we are in all the other routes. And I really do like that, because there are sometimes where you're playing a game and there's like a theme. Like, okay, say we're in game development and we're dating. You're all the other characters. You'd be like, well, I wouldn't see her with them, or that. You can see her with all of them because they share that common interest and it's unique to each one of them. So I don't know, I do like that. But yet it still has a common theme. You know? And like, I don't know, I just really like how everyone is vastly different, but she fits with all of them because she's different, and yet they can still fit into the common theme. Where you'd think, oh, well, this guy, you're interested in game development with him, but then you're interested in this with him, and this with him, and this with him, and that doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense in the scheme of this game, how it was done. So, like, you know what I mean? I think you get what I'm saying. Anyway, epilogue. So let's not waste any more time. Those are my thoughts. I love this game. And we get to do it all again. A few years later, a large audience cheers loudly as lights, music, and cameras flash through an entire arena. A well-dressed man in a suit walks on stage as the screen behind him shows a countdown animation. Best new game? We're gonna win? We're in an award show?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the nominated award winner for Game of the Year goes to...
A thundering drum roll resounds all throughout the arena. Cameramen on moving platforms zoom in on the announcer as he opens up a gold envelope. The crowd's cheers grow louder as the announcer looks and grins. It's us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official nominated Game of the Year goes to the global indie smash hit Love Spell, developed by Estrella Studios. Of course it does.
I love it.
Let's give a warm round of applause and welcome to the stage the two sole lead developers of Estrella Studios, Mr. Enix Gray and Miss Spacey.
No last name. We don't get a last name. I'm like, fuck him. Oh, look, and he's wearing his wedding suit, but it's just an award ceremony suit. Yes, all mine.
Spacey, did we just...
What? We won! I'm so happy for us. Well-dressed developers and the directors alike all rise from their seats as they clap towards the stage. The people behind us motion for us to get up, and we hurriedly walk on stage. Music from our game plays in the background as videos showing the gameplay are projected on each screen in the room. But it's like an RPG kind of game, but they called it Love Spell. Like, obviously, you know. I just like how they do little things like that in here. It's actually really cute. But it's so funny because it's like, did we make an Otome game together? That's my dream come true. The man who's like, oh, I love Otome games. Yeah, he's hot. You should date him. Yes, that's why I'm going to marry you. But there's probably not a lot of men like that. Unless they're gay. I'd still marry him. Anyway, the announcer shakes our hands and hands us a platinum trophy in the shape of a controller. How cute. We look out at the crowd before us, spotting many guests in the audience in cosplay of our characters, wearing merchandise all over and cheering loudly from the stands. Aww. Enix looks at me and squeezes my hand as he grabs the mic, his eyes teary with emotions. Everyone, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you all for making our dream come true, for being a part of our story and our journey. We hope you're ready for the next one. There's plenty more coming from us. We hope to continue counting on your support. Yes! Make more of these! Woo! I will fucking back the Kickstarters for the... Look, I backed it because I liked the art and the story seemed okay. Look, I really love the story. But I'm just saying, story is not as important to me as the art. If the art is beautiful and the story was terrible, I'd be like, I'd still probably enjoy it. I'd be like, well, the story's a little bit like that. The story and the art is fucking great. But the art is what sunk me, okay? It was like, yes, here you go, take my money. Takes it, throws my credit card violently at the wall. Take my damn money! So I'll keep backing shit, you keep making shit, that's all I'm saying. Upon seeing his genuine reaction, the crowd goes wild. Everyone in the audience gives a standing ovation as cheering and applause is heard over the music. Enix is near tears as he grabs the trophy and my hand and raises both into the air. I feel my emotions well up inside me as I take in the tons of fans beaming back at me. It's easily engraved in my heart as one of the most beautiful memories of my life. Another one alongside Enix. As we walk out of the stage doors, a flood of paparazzi, fans, and cameramen hoard us as security attempts to fend them off. Miss Gray, Miss Spacey, did I say Miss Gray? Mr. Gray. Wow. Yeah, we're Miss Gray. Yeah, we are. I was already looking at Miss Spacey when I said, well, Mr. Gray, Miss Spacey, what does it feel like winning one of the most prestigious industry awards for your first project and as a pair of indie developers? Like a dream come true, I imagine. Mr. Enix, would you consider this moment to be the moment your dream finally came true? Enix stops as he eyes that last reporter in particular. He smiles as he looks over at me. Not at all. The moment my dream had come true was the day Spacey and I realized we were in love. Without her, none of this would have ever been possible. It's even cuter. Look at I love him in this suit. The suit is hot as shit. The crowd cheers and gushes as I feel an indescribable sense of pride being able to stand by the man next to me. Enix squeezes my hand as we continue being escorted out. Miss Spacey, you've opened up a movement of inspiring countless female creators to pursue careers in a typically male-dominated industry. Could you tell us how you came to become a game developer? This is cute, actually. I'm afraid that's quite a long story, but I'm happy to tell you another day. Please contact my agent. After much dodging, we're able to make it through and board the crystal elevator headed towards the VIP suites of the hotel. As we look down through the crystal glass wall, we see countless fans in cosplay of our characters waving at us, holding signs. I nudge Enix as we spot a familiar-looking boy and his mother cheering at us. We wave back excitedly. Aww. As we're nearing the top floor, I look down again. My eyes widen as I see a familiar face in the back of the crowd. We never got our penguin out. As I beam her a warm smile, she smiles at me and waves before leaving through the hotel doors. Hey! Hey, 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 hey! I know whose apartment this background is. Don't you try to fool me, game. Telling me now it's a VIP suite. I know who lives in this apartment. We about to have a threesome? Because that's pretty kinky. It's just because this background is used as another apartment. It's in Florian's route. This is Florian's apartment. The motherfucker lives in this house. Can you imagine that? Like when I saw... Wait till we get to that scene in his route. It's going to be the last one we do because it's my favorite. I can't help but squeal with delight as we enter our VIP suite. Like, obviously, they're not going to do a million. They did a million backgrounds as it is, so, like, but it's just funny. I glance at the trophy again that's emblazoned with our names at the bottom, along with a few touching words. For a story that brought out the magic in us all. It really did. My attention is shifted as Enix wraps an arm around my waist and pulls me close. Come here, beautiful. We smile and lovingly stare into each other's eyes for a few moments before his lips find mine. Seconds turn into minutes as our kisses grow more passionate and frequent. Suddenly, he lifts me up and places me on the sofa with ease before climbing on top of me. Enix, already? Shouldn't we at least open a bottle first? I have my priorities straight, and you're number one on that list. We're gonna get cock-blocked. We always do, except for that one time. Besides, honestly, I still feel like I'm dreaming. And there's nothing else in this world I want more than to experience this moment with you. My heart melts at his sincere words, and I can't help but silence him by bringing his lips to meet my own. As he unbuttons his suit, his perfectly gelled back hair begins to fall into his face. His eyes shine with more love and passion than I've ever seen before. I stifle a moan as he begins to trail kisses on my neck and jawline. Our hands find each other as our fingers intertwine. A few moments later, he looks at me with a playful smirk. Tugging at his lips as he reaches for my dress's zipper. I've played this game enough to know we gonna get cock-blocked. Okay. I love that dress, but you don't need it anymore for tonight. That look on his face. I silence him with yet another kiss, and we lose ourselves in the taste of each other. I can't read, okay? Told you! Suddenly, we abruptly jolt as we hear the doorbell to the room ring from the front of the suite. Shouldn't we get that? Nope. Priorities. We decide to ignore it, but it continues incessantly for a few more minutes. Enix growls as he gets off the couch. We're on the couch, remember? And buttons up some of his shirt. He throws me a seductive look before smirking at my pouty, disheveled state. 1 second, princess. As he leaves, a little pink penguin pops up from under the couch. We did bring her back out! I'm so excited! It's gonna be weird that we keep talking to a magical pink penguin, but...
Princess, huh? That one's new.
Philia, where have you been this entire time, Missy? I haven't seen you at all since we arrived here. You haven't been causing any trouble, have you?
Trouble? Me? Never! But seriously? Does this fancy place really not have any cheese? I've searched it from top to bottom.
I can't help but laugh as I pinch her small cheeks. She laughs at me before waddling up on the sofa. Tell you what, I'll buy a whole aisle of cheese for you when we get home if you behave. And, leave the hotel room for tonight.
What? Really? That sounds great! You're a benevolent goddess! I love you, Master!
I love you too, you little goofball. Now off with you! And don't go pranking any more hotel guests, okay? Behave yourself!
Whee! No promises!
I shake my head as I watch her fly off in a burst of sparkles. Just then I hear footsteps approaching and turn to see that Enix has returned. Can you believe they brought us another bottle of champagne? We'll be alcoholics by tomorrow at this rate. I really only need one glass of champagne to knock me off my ass. I don't know what it is about champagne, but it makes me like, okay. I just need like 1 or 2 glasses and I'm pretty drunk. Like, I could sit there and drink like normal drinks and I'm fine, but like champagne and wine is like giggle juice. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's probably the bubbles in the fucking champagne. He quickly sets down the bottle and jumps onto the sofa as he pounces on top of me. He smiles and places his forehead on mine before leaning into me. Now, where were we? Enix, wait. There's something important I need to say first. He stops abruptly upon hearing his name and looks into my eyes. I look back with a warm and tender smile playing at my lips. My heart feels like it could burst with happiness as I look up at him. I caress his cheek as he watches me. I love you. Enix looks down at me with the same tenderness and places a small kiss on my forehead before leaving one on my lips. And I love you, Spacey, with all that I am and so much more. Let's see where our next dream takes us together, shall we? Yes, it's sure to be just as exciting. Our lips meet once again in a perfect kiss. It's a lot to live up to winning an award for your first game, you know what I mean? Then you're like, and now our next game has to be better, because if it's not as good, it's going to be like a you know what I mean? Just saying. I feel like it's a lot of pressure. The stars seem to shine brighter than ever as a bright, full moon illuminates the whole sky. A cackling laugh is heard as a figure on a broom flies across the night sky. As I look towards the man I love, I can't help but smile, knowing the bond we formed is a love that was destined, perhaps far before we even met. But no matter what the future may hold for us, we'll tackle it together as our hearts and souls shine as one. I know for a fact that the real adventure has only just begun. Like, really would have been the perfect end for the entire game, but we gotta, like, we're starting over, you know? Isn't it cute? Back in time, Enix. It's beautiful. We actually managed that in an hour, so I'm proud of us. Some of the other ones might end up being longer, because I feel like his chapter 11 was, like, kind of shorter. Or maybe I just had a lot of yakking that I was doing in the... look. Probably a lot of yakking, but... I love this game. And... Are you ready for it? Did I show you this when we first started? Like, hee. I love this. It's the simplest thing, but I love how when you hover over him, they change their expression. It's so cute. I love it. Okay. Hello? Hello? Why are we not working? That one's working. The first one's not working. There's our kissy CG. They're not working. Oh, that's disappointing. That's interesting. They're not working. So the only thing I notice is these. There we go. I think that's one of the... It's a minor thing. I prefer when you can click on it and leave the CG open, but you kind of have to hover over these ones for them to stay up. I like if you click and open them, because when I'm ending the part and I want to leave it up, the little hat is now just floating there, and it's slightly distracting, or for me, when I lose the hat, it's a mouse cursor, and I can't move it off the screen and just leave the thing, because if I move it off the picture, you know what I mean, it goes away. And also, as you can tell, for some reason, this one's not working really well. They work perfectly fine in all the other ones. This is the only one that, okay, is a little, like, slow to work, but it's adorable. And then there's their sad one, which we already saw. But it's obviously our kissy CG. We'll just see what I mean. Like, okay, our finger's going to wear the hat. Just pretend it's not there. But yeah, I really did actually enjoy his route. Again, he had that moment in the beginning where I was like, you're going to be that guy? Are you? He was not that guy. And I'm really glad he was not that guy, because I was ready to, like, throw the whole man out. And he just, thank God, was like, no, you judged me wrong. You're right, I did. And I'm happy. And I'm happy that you didn't go back to Isla after she threw herself in front of a car. Although I am curious why you did in the bad ending. But again, I think it was Aslan the Wizard. And I'm going to just go with, I don't know if that's the intent, but that's just the feeling I get, was like, our choice really didn't matter. Because, like, here's the thing. In this whole game, all of your choices, it's the illusion of choice. It's just you're choosing for fun dialogue. That last choice is what makes the difference. So there are good things and bad things about that. You know what I mean? So there's good things in the, oh, well, that's cool. So you can just do whatever you want. You choose what feels right to you. Because a lot of times when it's the choices matter, you're like, this is the dumbest thing. I would never say this. And I don't think she would say this, but you have to say it for that love interest. And it always sometimes feels like, you know what I mean? And when you're trying to get the good ending. So I like that in this respect, you can say whatever actually feels like with Isla. Screw you! Like, and she's going to turn around and go, I mean, I'm not actually going to say that, but you're like, oh, but I kind of wish you did. Like, you know what I mean? But it made me feel good just to click it. Okay? And I like that last choice is the only one that matters, because then you don't have to go through the whole game again to choose other things to get the bad ending. Also because, in particular in this game, there is no auto skip red text. There's auto skip, but it skips everything whether you read it or not. So if you can't just skip red text to get to your choices, I'm glad that the choices are just there to keep you engaged and kind of just change the dialogue a little, and that only that last choice matters. Because it'd be kind of a fucking pain to have to go through the whole entire game madly clicking through to choose the other options. You know what I mean? But it's different because there's good things and bad things. And like the illusion of choice, I mean, the bad thing about it is like, well, none of my choices actually make a difference. But I mean, I guess it really just depends on your preference in games, what you prefer. I don't mind it in this. I'm sure I don't really mind it either way. You know what I mean? Because I'm still engaged with the story and I like what's happening, that it doesn't matter to me that the choices didn't really matter. You know what I mean? Because you could be yourself. So I'm fine with either way. I don't have necessarily sorry. I moved my mouse. Okay, now we can't get our thing back. So anyway, I'm just going to move around until we can get our CG back. We're not going to get our CG back. The game hates me. There it goes. So I do like that. But I really feel like in this route, compared to all the other ones, that there was even just the illusion of choice. Like, it's the illusion of choice. You click through, nothing matters to that last choice. But I don't think our last choice actually mattered. I think what it was implying, I feel like it's implying that when we might have chosen, but it was really just like, actually, it's really just whatever Isla chose. And she's either going to choose, because Aslan was there and we know he's a wizard. Okay. I mean, I know he's a wizard and I'm telling you, so spoiler, I guess. I don't know. It wouldn't really matter if you didn't follow the Kickstarter or see, but that information was up there as like, if they had hit a certain point with funding, he would have been a route. We didn't get to that point. It's possible they might hopefully, if this does well, if you all went and bought it before you watched me play it, which you should have done because I told you a million fucking times, and if you didn't, you know goddamn what corner you need to go sit in. It's the shame corner. Go! Because you're bad. You're naughty, you're bad, and I asked you and I told you to go buy this before you watch this. You're rude if you didn't. I still love you, but you're rude. Anyway, but you really should have. Come on. Help some indie developers out. This game is worth it. But it's potentially something that we could get in DLC later, and I will absolutely pay for that route. I will throw my credit card out the wall again. Take my damn money! And I will buy it, and we will play it. Also, possibly a second one that we could. So there's possibly two that we could get as DLC, which I'm really crossing fingers hoping for. But anyway, so we know he's a wizard, and I kind of feel like him going to her room and being like, so talk to me. I feel like us clicking I'm just going to let fate decide is really when Isla is deciding. I know what I said, but fuck that, I want him. Because she can't get over all the bad shit. Because think about it, she was always a bad fucking human being. She was our friend, but she loved him and he loved us, and she was jealous and she lied to him for years. She's not a good person. She may have had that moment where she's like, no, I realized that I was wrong. But is that really going to stick? So I feel like she made a choice to go, no, I still want him. Fuck that shit. I'm going to be greedy, selfish bitch. And then that's what happened, and he ended up with her, and we ended up with that bad ending. Yeah, we clicked it, and we think we made a choice. We didn't make a choice. She made a choice. And then the old magic penguin-shaped pizza was her actually being there like, yeah, I really need to do better, and as much as I want him, I know he's never going to love me, and I made the right decision by realizing how bad I did. and then Aslan. I really do feel like it was an illusion of choice, which is amazing because I didn't do that in other routes. And if that's not the case, just shut up and let me keep it, because that's kind of amazing and magical and like sneaky, right? If they didn't do that, they should just take credit and say that they did, because I'm just saying. But yeah. So anyway, not sure which route we'll do next. I'm definitely doing Florian last, because that one still is my favorite. I know this feels more like the canon one. Florian is still my favorite love interest, but I really enjoyed his route, and I'm actually kind of excited to do it again. But since I did it first, we'll do it last. You know? I guess we'll kind of go backwards, except for I'm not sure if we'll do Jamie or Marcello next. Or Marcello. I'm going to call him Marcello because I just don't know. My huge complaint with his route is there's a lot of Italian in it, and I can't read half of it. So, like, I spent the whole first time like, I don't read Italian. Why are you throwing words at me I can't pronounce? I don't like it. So, prepare for that. We might do his next, because I think out of all of them, I did like his route and him, but I think it was kind of, in a way, the one that I enjoyed the least. Which I don't want to say it that way, like, oh, I enjoyed it the least, because it's not. It's kind of like Code Realize. When I was like, Impy is my least favorite, but I still love him. He's still allowed in the man harem, and I still love him. Like, I still loved Marcello's route. I really did. There's a lot of good stuff in it. But there is a point where I'm like, but I feel bad for him in a way. Like, because I don't have the connection with him that I did with the others. Like, oh my God, no, I love them. They're precious. You know, so we might do that one next, though. I hate to say to get it out of the way, but only because between him and Jamie, I look forward more to doing Jamie's. It's a little more exciting to me. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. You'll know not tomorrow, but the day after. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.